Hello and welcome to Economics versus the Environment. And we're on to part two of the road ahead. In the last video, we focused mostly on natural resources. The main idea is that we should start to treat natural resources as using up the planet's capital. If we make it expensive for businesses to do that, the main effect will be that businesses very quickly find ways to reduce the amount they use, as it will save them a lot of money. In fact, if some businesses do and some businesses don't, the ones that don't will quickly go out of business. Another of their core ideas is about human capital. Like planetary natural resources, present accounting systems don't attempt to measure human capital and don't see it as an accounting function to do so. The idea of human capital is that the knowledge, skills, ability to learn new things, and adaptability of the workforce is a vital resource for businesses. Preserving this bank of skills and attitudes is important to the well-being of the business. If it's important, we should measure it on a regular basis to make sure that the business has a good stock of it and remains healthy. In other words, if it was measured and reported on every year, and it was going down year by year, the business owners would become worried and do something to fix it. That would be very good for the business because it's a real problem. At present, we don't report on it, and a business where it is going down every year may not even know it has a problem. These features of a workforce are part of the capital of the business and should be looked after. It follows from this outlook that unemployment of people who have these skills is a very bad thing. One of the main parts of the new ideas being promoted by natural capitalists is that when we talk about waste and badly used resources, we should include in that picture waste of human resources. If we look at GDP as a way to measure happiness, then it's a nonsense to talk about increasing GDP by increasing unemployment. One increases happiness and the other decreases happiness. Natural capitalists argue that unemployment is part of the general waste of resources. So on the left, in the orange, we have somebody saying GDP is meant to be a measure of increase in happiness. And in the middle, so how can we increase GDP by increasing unemployment? Unemployment makes people unhappy. And on the right, unemployment is just a waste of good people. This strikes at an important belief of our existing economic model or ideas. The important belief is that better labor productivity is always good. If one worker can produce today what two workers produced last year, that is progress. This is usually achieved by substituting capital for labor. That means getting a machine to do what a person used to do. So for example, instead of having a bus with a driver and a person to sell the tickets, we make a bus where both jobs are easy and one person, the driver, can do both. To do this, you probably have to spend more money on a better bus. That's not a big problem because our economic model is good at generating profits for businesses, which increase the availability of money to do this kind of thing. So the system encourages businesses to replace workers with machines, especially in rich countries where wages are high. And this inevitably increases unemployment. Now you may say that new emerging industries will soak up the pool of unemployment. But those new industries are themselves probably structured to minimize the need for workers by using machines and technology. The idea in the USA that if businesses like Apple move their factories back from China to the USA, it will create a lot of jobs in the USA, is probably wrong. If they relocate, Apple will probably build a factory full of machines with only a few jobs, because wages are so much higher in the USA than China. Natural capitalists think that current practices and ideas about economic progress waste human resources, people's lives. But there is not a limit to human resources. The population of the world is still increasing. And this will mean that the amount of wasted human capital through unemployment will be bigger in the future. And this is the end, my friend. See you next time for part 3.